So this is first video of our GQ build. We've had a bit of a think, had a bit of a walk around, a bit of a suss of what we think it needs doing. So my main priority is I want it old school. I want to be able to thrash it. It's not going to have a lot of power, but I want it to be super reliable. So after having a bit of a walk around, we had a bit of a suss and went, okay, we need swivel hub bearings, we need to do all the seals, calipers are a bit seized on it, there's lots of little bits and bobs. So I went and had a bit of a chat to the boys at Patrol Apart and thought, well, let's compare pricing on rebuilding everything or just getting some GU diffs. Just so happens that they had two put aside for Paul that they're not going to use, which are GU ones which have already got the right ratio, so we're going to go 4.3s. They already had lockers in them. Already had the strengthened steering arm and a GU steering box steel joint to them, and they're all had a check over, and I think the centres have even been recoed. So that was $4,000 for that setup. I stole them at that price, I think, because that's awesome setup, and it puts us way further ahead. I don't have to do all the dirty work of rebuild now. Now everything, I want to try to do this on a budget, but certain things I want to be right. I did suss getting different CVs and different options, and by the time I'd bought lockers and everything, this actually has worked out a cheaper option. So I've just been very lucky that they happened to have two sitting there that they had put aside. The other things, we went to do bushes in the rear and weighed up buying bushes or just getting arms. Now the top arms are a couple of $100 each. I know it's cheaper to just put bushes in them, but these are going to give us ultimate reliability. So I guess what we've done straight off the bat, we're already started putting the housings in. We're going to reuse it. Had Old Man Emu suspension, it's 2-inch lift. I'm happy with that. I want it low but with big tyres. We're going to do a guard cut. So we're going to keep the 2-inch lift. I've sandblasted and repowdered the rear springs. I'm going to stick with the original rear shocks in the back. They're still in good working order. I'm actually going to keep it on gas, but we're going to put a new carby on it. So we'll work on dual fuel. It had the long range, like the dual fuel tank underneath already. So we just pulled that out, putting some new fuel line and some bits and bobs on it. As I said, I want it to be cheap to run, but I need to be able to have the range that if we go somewhere in it, I can take a jerry of fuel. So keep it what she is already. We've obviously bought the race bred arms for the rear. Obviously another weakness, generally these, and with lift to be able to centre our car diff back up. We've also got the road safe adjustable panhard bars. So got them from Patrol Apart as well. So far we've got diff housing just sitting in on the rear. We've got our braced front one, which as again, I'm very lucky to get a braced front one straight off the shelf. It's absolutely just pure ass. So we've got a braced front housing that's all been looked over. As I said, it's lucked out. Like 7:30 this morning I wasn't buying a diff housing, by 8 o'clock I had one. And we're going to work our way around, about to get the gas tank redated because it's out of date. She's obviously got a little bit of minor sill damage here, which we've got to address. I don't think I can fix it. But you can buy a replacement sill. They're like $200 from Patrol Apart. They're cheap. I think I'll just cut it off and put a new one on it. They're absolutely rooted. So before I can even start, next level buggered. They're actually bowed in the door jamb. So before I even start, I've got to pull them down, get that out enough that I can put a new sill on it. I have got a new sill from this side, but it's actually bent all the back and everything, so I'm going to pull it all out with a slide hammer. I'm just going to weld bits to it and try and get all the shape semi-right while I've got something to pull on. Then I'm going to cut that sill off and put a new one on, but just got to try and get the door jamb. As much as it goes in there, I need the back panel and all that to be straightened up. I've already started on this one. Looks gross now, but I've got all the back of it out where it, like all the back out where it should be. I just welded bits to it and slide hammered it. So yeah, it does look agricultural, but the end result will be lovely. So its general shape and everything now, it's ready. I can unpick it, and all the back and everything else all pulled where it needs to be. Even the door jamb now is pretty good. So I might not go the whole way in. I might just go just into the first, just into here now, because all this was bowed up. Now it's all come down, so I'll probably just save it, trim it there, then I don't have to unpick all this section. The rest of the body, which was one of the things, the interior is really good on it. The motor's really good, it's manual. As much as the rear windows have got the typical, they're a bit rotten, the body might be a little bit rough, but it's not rusty. It's actually quite a good shell, as much as it looks like a nugget. So So we just want to give her a general tidy up. So this is where we're at, and I'll just keep adding little bits as we go along. All right, so at this part we're going to do a quarter cut. Now there's heaps of different ways to do this depending on what you've got available, like a welder and those sort of things. I've done it this way many a time, literally hundreds over the years. It's very basic. It's something someone could do in their driveway. Super easy. Most of them have got rust in the bottom. The other side was quite rusty. So it's very common even just to get rid of your rust or to fit a rear bar that suits a quarter chop. The way I do it, and don't hate on me if it's different or not how you think it should be done. Obviously in a perfect world, you should cut it off, weld a new plate in the bottom, body filler it, you know, do all that. The problem with that is then the car needs the whole quarters painted. Most of them are old and ratty, so it means you have to blend it into the side of the car and the job ends up ginormous. The way doing it this way, it's nice and basic. You don't have to repaint the quarter, and I think the end result's quite neat for what it is. So what we do is we start on this body line. I like to put a tape line there so it's easy to work to, which is in line with the bottom of here. We're going to cut, you'll see me do it, we're going to cut along to where this seam is and then down, so we're going to lose that triangle, and then we're going to come roughly 25mm down and cut that off the whole way through. Then we're going to use pliers and we're going to fold a lip on it, get it all nice and flat, like on this side. So basically I've gone along, folded it under, used a hammer, tapped it up, and we've got a nice mounting edge the whole way around. And basically he's going to rivet on the bottom, and we're going to Sikka flex it, and we're going to stone guard it. The beauty of this is if you cave your quarter in, you can unrivet it and knock the panel out real easy. It also, when it's all said and done, it looks quite neat. You'll see it at the end. But these you can just buy on eBay. Like obviously I'll cut them here because we can, but Joe Blow, they're literally like 40 bucks. Shoot the Sikka flex and a rivet gun and you're away. Just a nice easy way of doing it. I'll run through how to do the guard cut as well. That'll be in another episode. But this is just first things first, because I want to paint all underneath as we go along, so I need this done so I can finish up underneath and trying to just get the running gear sorted. Now, like I said, there's nicer ways to do it. I'm trying to do this car as if you do it if you're doing it at home, so it's a budget thing. If you're a young bloke doing it at home in your driveway, that literally took 20 minutes. It's done. I reckon it's quite presentable and it doesn't take very long. I'm obviously going to paint it, so I don't care too much about this bit. Otherwise, sometimes I even go up a little bit higher if you weren't going to paint the car. We've got to paint it, so I don't really care. But yeah, it gives you, I go just above where my Sikka flex line is. It's nice and waterproof, as long as you get all the edges, so it's sealed. I've obviously got a hole in there ready for my wiring to come out for my rear bar. I'll put a grommet in that. I don't know, like it or lump it, I reckon it's pretty presentable and it's a pretty easy job. I'm going to keep track of the monetary value. So far, and like I said, I think we're $1,500 with the car to start with, but as I go along, I'll keep adding it up and do it accurately. All right, so just a quick recap where we're at so far. So our rear housing, rear GU diff, in, finished, done, adjustable panhard bar, stronger rear arms are all in, our race spread arms are all in, that's all done. We've repowder coated the existing Old Man Emu lift. Shocks are all good, we've put new bushes in them. So that's all buttoned up, that's ready to go. All the brakes from the GU are on it. We've had gas tank in and out, had it redated. We're obviously halfway through a quarter cut. Started pulling the sills out, sourced a new sill for this side. Moving along, I painted all the floor and all that up underneath the gas tank. So basically we're gonna give her all a clean underneath and re-stone guard the whole underneath just to make it look tidy. Sills pulled out, front housing's in, so our full brace GU housing is in. Adjustable panhard bar in the front. These shocks, they look a bit shitty, but they still work fine. We've got a new drag link and steering arm. We've put a GU steering box in it, which will come around here. So old little GQ one's out, new GU one's in. Just waiting for the springs. We've blasted them and powder coated them, so they're about to come out, and then the front's nearly done. We'll be able to get it back on our wheels. It's got extended brake lines, which come with the housings, which is cracker. We've kept the standard front arms and we've put new bushes in them while we're going. That's roughly where we're at now. So still looks like a bomb, but starting to get some cool shit. So we'll see where we get to at the end, how much you can build a really capable GQ for from a nugget.